Right. Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. A very warm welcome to everyone joining us today. This is Mohammad Abadul Haq, Associate Director of Admission Group, and I'm delighted to welcome you to another special live session from Admission Group Facebook page, LinkedIn page, and YouTube page. But today's session is a little bit different. Today we are focusing particularly on international students who are already here in the UK. Maybe you are currently completing your master's degree, maybe you have recently completed your course, or perhaps you are already thinking, what should be my next step? Can I study another master's in the UK? Can I change my subject? Will a university consider me for second master's? How does academic progression work? What happens with CAS? Lots of queries, lots of concerns. If you have any of these questions, then I think today's session is going to be very useful for you. And to discuss all of these topics, I'm very pleased to welcome Mr. Tanzim Choudhury from Global University Systems, representing the University of Law. Tanzim Bhai, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the Admission Live.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. I'm from London. So anyone who's joining from outside London, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your timeline. And once again, thank you for joining today's session. Thank you, Ovedlwai, for arranging this. Okay, just a brief introduction before we start. I represent University of Law. I've been working with Global University Systems and University of Law for a very, very long time, part of the furniture now. If we are looking at University of Law is one of UK's oldest and largest law higher education provider. However, even though the university name suggests that this is specialized law university, our courses range from business to management, computing, criminology, psychology, and we are also introducing other AI and healthcare related postgraduate qualifications as well for the students who are looking for those areas. Now, a bit more about the University of Law. So, University of Law is not just another university that is teaching you from the books. I know a lot of people, a lot of different organizations talk about that. But what we do is that we do things a bit differently. Our main focus for all of our courses is students' employability. So a student is studying with us, and what our focus is to make sure that the student is ready for the job market, ready for their careers as soon as they finish their studies. So one key thing that I'm throwing at the very beginning, we are going to talk more details in future, in later down the line. But what we do offer is a money back guarantee or employability guarantee, however you say it, which means that, like, okay, if you are studying with us and if you meet our conditions about passing your courses, attending your classes and all of that, and if you do not get a job within the first 9 months of your graduation from your postgraduate course with us, you will get your money back. As simple as that. So this is something that we offer.
Yeah, thank you, Tanzim Bhai. And let me clarify something to the audience also, and to everyone watching us live. Please share this live with your friends who are currently studying in the UK, because we are going to discuss some very important opportunities today. You can also leave your questions in the comments. Towards the end of the session, we will take some questions directly from our viewers. So Tanzim Bhai, we are going to clarify something. You already discussed a brief about the University of Law.
Yeah.
For international students particularly, already studying in the UK, why should they consider ULaw for their next qualifications?
If you are an onshore student, let's say, for example, if you are applying from inside UK, you previously studied a master's degree, you are coming to us, or bachelor's degree, and you are coming to us the end of your post-study work visa, and you are considering what's next, because you probably did not get the job that you wanted, you're probably working in a certain area and you want to switch careers. There can be a number of different reasons, right? Now, if you are based in UK, you already understand the UK education system, employment environment. So your next qualification should be built on that experience rather than simply repeat of, oh, I've studied international management, let me study another business management course or things like that. Now, ULaw's postgraduate portfolio is very broad. Okay, which makes it possible for students to move to more specialized area. Let's say someone studied a project management or a business management course, but they are working in the healthcare industry. Right now, a generic international management program is very different than what a specialized healthcare course will be offering. So this is something that can be looked into. Plus, also another reason that you are probably looking to do a second job because you are not satisfied with what you studied before and how it translated into your career. So you are looking for something that gives you that extra boost to build a career in the area, in the subject areas that you want. So this is where University of Law comes in. As I said previously, that our courses are designed keeping in mind that, like, okay, what a student will do after finishing their studies. So all of our postgraduate qualification, we are going to introduce this in our law programs as well in near future, comes with a professional practice here, which means that you have your typical the study areas where you study the theories and everything, and then you have the professional practice here where you get the chance and opportunity to put everything that you learned into practice before you get your certification. So if you want to, you can go for the typical taught 1 year program, or you can go for the full 2 year program with professional practice here. When it comes to the second year, you will have a number of different options. So you will get the options to go with a paid placement. You can do your dissertation, you can do your research, you can do your business project. So a number of different options will be offered to you, and you pick the one that is most suitable for your needs. And our careers team will support you from day one. As soon as you accept your offer and you decide to go with University of Law, you will get full access to our career service. And I personally think that University of Law's careers team is one of the best, if not the best, in the industry. So
Amazing.
as simple as that.
Yeah, Tanzim bhai, I need to clarify something because it is the name of the University of Law. So something we need to make very clear today, that somebody might be watching us thinking my background is not law, so this university is not for me. But that's not necessarily the case. I know, Tanzim bhai, could you tell me about the other subject areas that they can, go ahead with the University of Law if they don't have any University of Law background,
so
like law, business and management, or something like that?
Absolutely. So before you go into that particular bit, it is important to understand that University of Law started as a law specialized institution for students, professionals who are looking to become a solicitor or a barrister in British legal system. Now, University of Law evolved over the time, and along with the law programs, along with probably one of the largest range of law programs, it's been nearly 10 years, 10-15 years ago, we started diversifying into business, psychology, IT, project management, as well as criminology, psychology conversion courses, so all of those areas. So right now, students not only study law at the university, but they also study the business courses, ranging from simple management, business analytics, MBA programs, to they study cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, healthcare management, psychology, criminal justice, and criminology as well. So a lot of ranges. We are constantly looking into more ways to improve, as well as introduce new areas where students can join depending on the students' inquiries and all of that, because University of Law is a student first organization, so which means we put the students' needs and students' interest before anything else, rather than just focusing on developing a course or qualification that is solely focused on the content, like the books.
Yes, thank you, Tanzim bhai. People started commenting, but I will pick up the comment after our discussion. I think some of the comments answer will be there while we are talking. Now, let's come to probably the most important topic of today's live, is that at Admission Group, we regularly receive the questions already in the UK that I already have a master's degree. Can I do a second master's? So, let me ask you directly, if an international student has already completed or is about to complete a master's degree in the UK, can they apply for another master's at the University of Law?
The short answer is yes. Okay, but that goes into a little bit more details. Okay, but before I get there, this is a very important point. By the way, just double checking. You can hear me clearly, right? There is no network lag or anything like that.
No problem. Yeah, I can hear you clearly. I think my marketing team also, they are checking. People are listening, and lots of people already joined there.
Perfect. So just let me know in case if the network drops or if you cannot hear me or if there is an lag.
I will, sure.
Because the room I'm in, the window is right here, right above me here, and that's why you can see the lighting. It's a bit dark, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But you are fair person, I know.
No, that's okay.
That's absolutely amazing.
Okay. As I said, the short answer regarding the second master's is yes. Okay. However, there are a few things to consider. Okay. It is for you to justify as a student. Let's say, I'm not saying you as a Wadul, but you as everyone who's listening as a student, as an applicant. So it is you as an applicant. It is your decision what you are looking for. You need to first decide that, like, okay, what do I want? What am I looking for? Now, you have completed, let's say, an MSc qualification. Okay. Let's take an example, the most common one, one of the most popular courses, business management. So you studied MSc business management from X university. Okay. Now, while you were studying, you realized that, like, okay, the things that you want, or while you're studying or after you finished your studies, you realized that, like, okay, the things that you wanted to develop, the skills that you wanted to develop, the subject areas that you wanted to learn is not exactly what you learned. Right, there are gaps in your skills where you want to build your career. Maybe you want to start your own business, you want to take over your family business, you want to build a career as a project manager in a multinational company, you want to be a financial analyst. It can be a range of different things. Right now, you realize that, like, okay, what you studied before maybe was not as much focused on the areas that where you want to develop your skills or build your career in. This is where we come in. Okay. So your new course you should be able to justify the reasoning behind why you want to study another master's degree, because you have completed a level 7 qualification from UK. Let it be in any principle. So you had 2 years in UK that where you looked for a job, you tried to find a job to build some experience, to gain some experience within that industry. You failed to do so, or maybe you decided that, like, okay, the industry that you are working in or what you studied before is not for you. You need a new direction in your career. So this is where we come in, and you can apply for any of our postgraduate qualification. However, one key thing is that, like, how we look into is that MBA, if you have completed an MBA, let it be in any principal or a generic MBA qualification, you will not be able to apply for a second master's course at University of Law. Other than that, any other qualifications, we are open for applications. There will be a short 10 to 15 minutes interview that you will be recording, where you will be asked between 10 to 12 questions about your choice, okay, for you to justify the reasonings behind studying a second master's qualification. And you can, if as long as you know what you are looking for and our compliance team are happy with your justification, there is no reason behind why you shouldn't go ahead and study a second master's qualification. Now, this is you need to consider UKVI rules and regulations as well. So where UKVI has the room for students to pursue a second master's, okay, you need to make sure that, like, okay, you meet those conditions as a student.
Thank you, Tanzim Bhai. What are the main things I would like to clarify something University of Law would like, look at before deciding whether that student is suitable? For example, do the University of Law look at previous qualification or propose new course, academic progression, career objectives, or immigration history? So
yeah, absolutely.
What are the main things that they look after?
So there are a few things that get looked at. Okay. One, your academic progression. So if you are just going for a natural progression, let's say for example you completed a foundation degree or a level 3 foundation from a UK university, and you are going for a bachelor's degree. You finished a HND in business or anything like that, and you are going for a top up level 6. So you finished level 5 going for level 6. You finished a bachelor's degree going for a master's. So all of these are considered as natural progression. Means you finished your previous studies from UK, and you are going for your next qualification inside UK, and you are an onshore applicant. So in those cases, your progression is clearly justified. You do not need to go for any interviews or any English test or anything like that. Okay, so you apply, you fill in your information on Enrollee Cash Shield when you get your login details, and you just go ahead and finalize your enrollment once you meet all the conditions. Simple as that. Now, when the students who have completed a level 7 qualification and going for another level 7, in those cases, they need to clearly justify the reasonings behind why they are looking for a second master's, and how that second master's connect to their career needs, what they're looking to do, how they're looking to do it, where they're looking to be in 2 years time or 1 year time when they finish their course. So all of those things needs to be justified, right? So as long as their intentions are genuine and they're able to justify the reasonings, they'll be fine.
Okay. So yeah, there is the questions. This is like a little bit complicated for them, because they're going from masters to another masters at the same level. It's a level 7 and level 7.
Yeah.
So some students, they answer like that, I want another master's degree, I need to enrich my knowledge, like something. But would it therefore be fair to say that the students shouldn't just think I want another master's? So instead they should be able to explain, this is what I studied before, this is what I want to study now, and this is how the combination supports my future career. So would that be a better approach? How they can overcome this kind of justification statement?
Probably this is the most important question of today's session, I'll say. Because academic progression does not always mean that like moving level 6 to level 7 or level 7 to level 8 or things like that. UKVI rules specifically recognize that another degree level course at the same level can potentially demonstrate progression, or where the students where the new program is connected to the previous program, but involves a deeper specialization. So for example, someone studied let's say a generic management course. I'm just taking the same example, it's not a repeat, but they are working, let's say, in a care home as a registered manager. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they haven't learned anything about healthcare management or how to manage a healthcare industry or anything like that. They can easily apply for an MBA with healthcare management as their specialization. Okay. Or someone probably have a keen interest in AI, right? And they are going for an MBA in artificial intelligence, with artificial intelligence management as a specialization. So they can go for all of this. So this, as long as they can justify that part of the things, they will be fine, because it is on UKVI's rule book as well, that as long as the student is justifying and the new course involves a deeper specialization, and the two courses together, what they have studied before and what they are studying now together, support the students' genuine career aspirations, they will be fine.
Exactly.
Similarly, somebody with a finance background, let's say, moving into fintech, could explain how the second master's kind of like connecting with their previous accounting and finance qualification and exploring a higher career path, right? Same goes with AI and all of that. Now, what we want to see as an institution from the student is additional knowledge, additional skills, and clear career value, rather than just a reputation.
Okay.
Hope that
So
answers.
yeah, the people can somebody change their subject when applying for a second master's? It might be
Absolutely.
helpful for them.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So we see that a lot. Let's say, for example, I'm taking a very recent example, right?
Mhm.
We have a student who came in here and studied healthcare management, but when he was a student in UK, I'm not naming the university, but we just looked into the application. I think he got his CAS just a couple of days ago. So while he was a student, he was working part-time at a solicitor firm in East London, and even after he finished his studies, he didn't stop. He was enjoying working in the legal industry so much. So what he decided is that he's going to go for an MLO conversion, so that he can be eligible to become a barrister in near future. So he will be starting his MLO conversion this September. Okay, and once he finished his conversion course and MLO, he will be going for the bar course to become a barrister in the UK. Now, this is a clear example of students changing their career path, moving to a completely different industry based on their work experience or based on their career aspirations. So, as I said from the very beginning, as long as the student can demonstrate, the need for the second master's or the need for the change of the subject, they will be fine. The key is the new subject should not look random, right? So it's someone who have studied, let's say, nursing, right, and completely randomly decided, you know what, I'm going to study bar practice course now. That's a random, like going from specialized nursing course to bar practice course without a proper
That's where
connection
I'm
between the
coming.
two.
That's why
Yeah.
I'm coming to
So,
you.
so the
Let's
formula,
make it
yeah.
more practical. You are
Yeah,
answering
the
that.
formula should be, this is how I look at the formula, right? So you got your
Sure.
past education, okay, you got your experience, you got your new qualification, and
Mhm.
you got your intended career. So you put them all together, and then you clearly see that, like, okay, which course where you fit in.
Yes. Yes. That's exactly amazing. For example, a student completed his bachelor's in business,
Mm,
and he completed his MSc International Business in the UK.
mm.
Now they want to develop more specialist management or leadership skills. What could they explore at the University of Law?
um so strong academic progression, right? So
Yes.
how do you justify that? um I normally encourage the students to answer six very simple questions, right?
Mhm.
Um, what if I'm the student? Let's say, for example, I will personally look into these are the things that what have I studied, okay, already. That's one. Two, what knowledge and skills did I gain from those qualifications? Okay. Three,
What I
what is
need in the
missing from
future.
my current skill set? Okay, so what is
Yes.
missing? Why does this specific new program, the new course that I'm looking to study, okay, um, why does this new program address that gap in my skill set and in my knowledge? How is it different from my previous master's degrees? How is it similar with my previous master's degrees, if it is? And
Exactly.
what specific career progressions or career direction will these two qualifications combined take me to? Okay, so that is
100%.
as simple as that. Now, a strong statement focused on these key areas: progression, specialization, career relevance, specific content, and the proposed course will easily get accepted. So this is something that needs to be looked into. Now, what our compliance team does, so this is very important. So if our compliance team looks into a student's personal statement, okay, let's say after the student passed their credibility interview, or even if they do not need the interview, and they look into student's CV and the student look into student's personal statement, and they see that, like,
Mhm.
okay, there is clearly a gap in explanation of ABC. They will send a message to the student asking for a justification statement. Now, we see a lot of times students see that, like, oh, this is a short question, I'll just send a 2-line response, and that's fine, it's nothing important.
Without
But
the
this
explanation.
is, yeah, this is very serious. So when the compliance team or the admissions team is asking you for something, okay,
Yeah.
they are not looking for a 2-line response. Let it be any university. This is not just University of Law. They are looking for a full-on explanation of whatever they're asking and how that covers those gaps. So the 6 points that I just talked about, as long as the student is able to cover those areas, they will be okay. And towards the end of this conversation, I'll send you a guideline as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Where there will be few points on like of what needs to be covered, and few points about what to avoid when the justification statements are being written. So this will give you a clear outline of what is expected from a student.
Thank you, Tanzim Bhai. So I think you would expect them to clearly connect their previous studies, second masters, and their career objectives.
Yeah.
So if three things connect clearly, then they are the progressive student. Otherwise, it is waste of money and waste of time. But they need to have an exact goal.
Yeah, not necessarily. Right. So how I look at it, right? So this is one half of it. Let's say.
Yeah.
So how I look at it is your previous studies, okay, plus your previous work experience. Put it on one bucket, okay.
Yeah.
Put it on another bucket what you are looking to achieve. Okay, that can be a career change, that can be a specialization in the industry that you are in, that can be that like okay, you are looking for a senior management role. It can be anything, right? So your previous studies, your previous work experience, your career, everything, put it on one basket. Okay. Put your aspirations in another basket, right? So now you have two things in here. Now you need to find something that is connecting the gap, that is building a bridge between these two things, right? So when you are choosing your new course, okay, you should look for that bridge, that like what should I choose that will connect the gap and build that bridge from where I am to take me to where I'm going, right? That bridge is your new course. Okay, so it can be directly linked to what you studied and where you worked at, or it can be completely different. Okay. So
fine.
because you are looking to build a career now, this is what should be looked at.
Thank you. Thank you, Tanzim. I think we clarified everything regarding the second masters and how the student choose their course and what they should choose. Okay, now here's very practical questions for the onshore student. There may be students watching us right now who are still studying. Their dissertation may be ongoing, or perhaps they are waiting for their final results. Do they have to wait until everything is completely finished before applying to law, or can they start their university application while completing their
they can submit the application, right? So application is open. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is something. So sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. If I got the question correctly, is that like okay, well, if the students can apply, because there was a pause on the sound, so I'm just trying.
No, I'm just trying to tell you that if they have not completed their course, their dissertation is going on, but they are waiting for the results. Can they apply, or they need to wait?
They can apply, but they should have predicted grades. Okay. So for example, some students who are expecting their results by the end of October, November, and they're looking to apply for the January, February start. Okay. Now, can they submit their application now? Absolutely, they can. They can write a covering letter explaining that, like, okay, when they're expecting their results, when they're expecting their grades. So all of that, they can cover that part. Okay. And also, this is important to understand that everyone knows this, but I'm just repeating this one, that your new course should start within 28 days of your visa expiry date.
Exactly.
Okay. So it can start earlier, way before, like 6 months before your visa expires, but it cannot start anything more than 28 days after your visa expires. So it has to start in there. So we share our course start dates on our website. We share it with everyone. So you need to make sure that, like, okay, you fall into that category. That's the first thing. Second thing is, if your predicted grades, your previous, let's say all of the subjects, that exams that you have done, let's say you have done 6 subjects and you got your results on there, only the dissertation is pending, right? You already have your grades, online grades. You do not have your final certification, but you have your grades on those 5 or 6 subjects. So submit those ones. Okay, write a cover letter about why you have not submitted your final statement and when it is
Final
expected.
certificate.
Our
Yeah.
admissions team will look into it. Okay, and you might be able to secure a conditional offer. Okay, that with the condition that like okay, you meet the academic requirements by passing that last module or your dissertation or anything like that. And yeah, once that is done, you get your unconditional offer academically, and you just go ahead with all of the enrollment process.
So we can summarize that the potential student could start exploring their options
Yeah,
early rather than waiting until the last minute. Yeah.
absolutely. That's what
Yeah.
we want.
So let's now go through the actual application journey. For someone who's already inside the UK,
Mhm.
could you take us through the process from application, offer, condition, class assessment, or enrollment? What should an onshore applicant expect?
Yeah.
What
So
is
this is very straightforward, I'll say. Okay.
yeah,
So you as a student, you communicate with in this particular scenario, admissions group as your agency or the chosen partner of the University of Law, where you are going to submit your applications through. So you contact one of the consultants. They will guide you through what documents you need to provide. They will
which
help
course
you
they need to choose?
yeah,
Yeah,
help you polishing out those things, help you understand like all of the different courses if you have questions about courses and all of that. We have we have a chat option on our website as well. You can take the guideline in there before you choose your course. So look into the details. Each and every single one of our available course page is very detailed and very informative. So one thing I'll suggest is that like okay, look through that. Once you have made your decision, okay, admissions group will be submitting your application via the secured application portal that they have access to. Once the application is received, our admissions team are very quick to respond. We usually respond within 2 to 3 working days once the application is submitted. If the student meets the minimum conditions, okay, the students will be sent a conditional offer letter. Now conditional offer letter is not a guarantee that like okay you have a place, but it gives you the outline of the conditions that you need to meet, and if you meet those conditions you can secure your place at the University of Law. Now these conditions can be academic. These conditions can be based on compliance issues, like okay, you need to clear a compliance interview, or to justify your previous studies and new studies and things like that. So once you meet the conditions, okay, you receive your unconditional offer. At that point, you make your deposit payment, tuition fee deposit. If you are an UK onshore student, right now the deposit requirement is £4,000 towards your tuition fees. Once you make the payment, you can pay anything above that, but the minimum you are required to pay is £4,000 of your tuition fees, and depending on your course, depending on your course duration, these fees can vary. Okay,
yeah.
so that's the rest of the fees you pay in installments once you are enrolled. And then you apply for your CAS. Now once you submit your application for your CAS documents after you made the payment, okay, your application goes through a number of different checks. So our compliance team will send your profile for immigration history check to UKVI to check that like okay, if you meet all the immigration requirement, if you have broken any immigration rules or regulations, if you are an overstay or anything like that. So once we get that response, so typically it takes 3 to 5 working days, okay, for UKVI to come back to us, but depending on the time. So for example, as we are getting closer to us September and October, it can take longer. Okay, we have seen it taking up to 10 working days, okay, for UKVI to come back. Now as soon as we get that clarification that like okay, UKVI is okay, you do not have any issues on your immigration history check, then our compliance team looks into your documents on last time. If they require any justification for you from your side, you will be notified on CAS Shield that like okay, we need the justification. Now at that point, this is very important, I mentioned it before, do not just respond. Okay, so if you are not 100% clear, or even if you are sure that like okay, what that question is asking in CAS Shield, there is no harm in asking for a second opinion. right?
Yeah.
Reach out to your advisor, your program consultant at the admissions group or your agency, or they can always reach out to me or one of my colleagues about the clarification if there is any doubt, and we are more than happy to help the students, right? Once that
Exactly.
is submitted and that is checked by the compliance team, then the CAS gets issued within like couple of working days, and yeah, a couple of working days, by that I mean depending on the time. So as we get closer to the deadline, okay, there is more and more CAS applications coming in. I don't know that why that always happens, but this is always a norm. Students wait till the last minute to finalize everything, to make the payment. And
Yeah.
I always request everyone, do not wait for the last minute. If you're waiting for the last
So,
minute, you are creating a problem for yourself, because at that time everything gets delayed. So if you are able to finish everything early, so your CAS comes in, and once the CAS comes in, we expect the students to submit their visa application within 2 working days, or 48 hours. Now, we do understand that that might not be possible for a number of different reasons, but if it is not possible and you are applying from UK itself, please do communicate that with us. As long as we know that, like, okay, when you are expected to apply for your visa, we are okay with those things. Now, the next comes once you submit your visa application, as when your course start date is less than 6 weeks from the day you receive your CAS, we request students to apply with priority service rather than standard service, because UKVI specific guideline indicates that, like, okay, they can take 6 to 8 weeks. Now, if your visa decision gets delayed, you will not be able to start your course, and that will create some unnecessary complication. So if you apply with priority service, Home Office will respond to your application within one working week, okay, and you will be risk free to start your course on time.
thank you.
Hope that
Thank you, Tanzim. So timing is very much important for the
it is.
international onshore students. So they cannot wait for last minute. It is very much important. Okay,
Mhm.
let's come back to the requirements for the admissions. Another questions we regularly receive is about English requirements. Many onshore students have already completed and or are completing your UK, they are completing their UK qualifications, undergraduate or postgraduate. So how does ULO assess the English language requirements for an applicant who has already studied in the UK? Does he need IELTS or not?
Student that meets the entry requirements and completed their previous qualification from inside UK, let that be a diploma, HND Pearson higher national diploma, let's say, or a bachelor's degree, or completed a master's degree, we are more than happy to look into exempting them from English language requirements. So they do not require to do that. However, as I mentioned, that the compliance interview is not required for natural progression. By natural progression, I mean that level 3 to level 4, level 5 to level 6, level 6 to level 7. So all of this is natural progression. So anyone who is going for natural progression, even though it says on the conditional offer they are expected to complete an interview, okay, this can be waived off, okay, as long as we are notified. So even when you get your CAS Shield access, you fill in your CAS Shield details, you upload all of your documents in CAS Shield, and then just let the team at the admissions group know that, like, okay, this is the situation, and they will communicate with me or someone from my team, and we will waive that off. Now, apart from that, the other requirements for applications, which are very straightforward and simple, if you are a UK-based, UK onshore applicant, apart from your immigration documents, like immigration and identification documents, like your passport, your previous visa stamp, if you have one on your passport, or your previous BRP, your previous CAS, your share code. So these are considered as immigration documents. So we'll need all of those ones, immigration and identification purposes. And then for academic qualifications, we will need your previous qualifications. Okay.
Transcripts.
Qualifications, certificates, and transcript. Now, when you are sending those documents to your agency, so this is a bit silly, but you are applying for a postgraduate qualification, right? You are expected to understand the need and the requirements of the university. So
100%.
when you are taking a picture or scanning your documents, please do make sure that like okay, all four corners are clearly visible, the information is clearly readable, some color shades reflection is not covering those information. So because we need those information in order to identify that like okay, if you meet those requirements or not, a clear scan or a clear picture of those documents just helps you get those decisions without any hiccups. Next
Very
comes your
important.
CV. This is very important. Okay, make sure your CV has your full name, your working email address, your email address spelling is correct. This is a lot of times we see this happening, that like okay, that's because of one letter or one dot here and there, the email address is incorrect, student is not receiving cash shield access, their offer or anything like that. So make sure that your email address is correct, your phone number is working, because when the application is submitted, someone from our team will give you a quick call just to double check that like okay, your information is correct, the course that you applied in is correct, and if there is any information to be provided about the deadline, about scholarships, about the tuition fees, they will quickly go through that. So it's just a short phone call, it's not an interview, it's not any of that. So it's more of a like validation call, I'll say, to validate that like okay, you are who you are and all of that. And yeah, that's basically it. And personal statement I explained before. These are the only documents that we need, and that's it, and our admissions team do the rest.
Yes, thank you, Tanzim bhai. We are coming out of the time. We need to answer lots of comments. I can see.
No problem.
We'll
Let's take some questions.
But yes, but let me finish my questions first, because I have already full of buckets questions from my students regarding the tuition fees and deposits and how they can pay the tuition fees. Can you explain a little bit about the tuition fees?
We made it very simple when it comes to paying the tuition fees, right? So when you get your offer, let it be your conditional offer, I think it's the third line from the top. Okay, you will see it's written in bold, applicant portal. All right, so if you just click on the applicant portal, that bold bit, that will take you to your applicant portal. If you haven't registered before, just register using your name, email address, and all of that. But if it comes in as that like you are already registered, just reset your password if you cannot remember your password, and log into your applicant portal. Once you log into your portal, you will see a pop-up about your offer. Do you want to accept your offer, or do you want to accept later? So you can just click on accept later if you want to, that's fine. And then you under your offer sections, you can identify your applications and which one you have an unconditional offer for. So you just click on that. Okay, going to accept your offer. This bit is extremely important. If you are applying from inside UK, okay, your domicile means, the domicile word means that like okay, where do you live? So you need to make sure that you choose United Kingdom as your domicile country, okay, where you are domiciled at, and you that way the system will identify that you are an onshore student, and it will allow you to pay £4,000 as your deposit. You fill in the rest of the information, go on to make the payment. It will take you to the Flywire link. Okay, Flywire is the payment gateway system that we use in order to process students' tuition fees, and it will automatically ask you to pay £4,000, and you finalize that payment. Once that payment is done, okay, you just send us a notification that like okay, the payment is done. I'll keep an eye on it, and the payment gets allocated, and everything else gets processed as it is. Now, when it comes to tuition fees, after that £4,000, whatever the remaining tuition fees, because the rest of the tuition fees varies depending on the course you are looking to study, depending on the campus you are looking to study. University of Law has a lot of different campuses in London and outside London. So the tuition fees outside London, like let's say Birmingham, Manchester, Leeds, or any of the campuses that you study outside London, is slightly cheaper than studying in London. So your tuition fees will vary depending on those courses, and depending on the scholarship. So you might have an international bursary, you might have an early bird scholarship, you might have a regional bursary or regional scholarship, which can range anywhere between £1,000 to all the way to £7,500 in terms of the scholarships. And whatever the remaining fees, let's say your total fees are £15,000. Okay, for the qualification you are looking to study, you paid £4,000, you have 11,000 left. The rest of the fees you can pay in up to 10 installments, okay, within the first academic year. Now, this is very simple. You can pay monthly for over 10 months, or if you decide that, like, okay, I do not want to bother about that monthly hassle, I just want to pay all of my fees together or pay it in 3 installments, the options are there. Hope that answers the question.
That's amazing. Thank you. And the scholarships, can you clarify that how much they can expect the scholarships as an international?
Let me actually do something. So this will be very interesting for everyone. Everyone who are on this chat, I'm just sharing a message that the team can share with you all. So this is the link to our website. Oh, by the way, can you see? Okay, can you please share this link?
Let me show it.
Yeah.
Just a second. I'm scrolling down and showing it.
Yeah.
Did you provide it to the?
So I sent it to the chat because you're the host. I do not have access to it. But if you look into it, okay, if you look into this bit, if you scroll down a little, okay, you will see June 2026 to May 2027. During this period of time, every single intake, you've got on-campus courses, the full-time courses only. Okay, so if you click on that, there is a drop down that comes out. Okay, you can see all of the different course areas and what are the international bursary that is available to the students. So for example, a student who is applying for an MBA qualification outside London, let's say they're applying in Birmingham, okay, they can get up to £5,500 in regional scholarship or regional bursary, international bursary. Now, if they're applying for this September-October intake, okay, we are offering an additional £2,000 bursary for the students who are applying from inside UK. So this the total scholarship, including the current regional scholarship available for the students who are applying from inside UK, okay, can go up to £7,500. Okay, now your international bursary gets allocated at the beginning. You will see it in your conditional offer if you are going for September-October. January February one, we haven't started mentioning it in the offer as of yet, so you will not see it in the January February start, but for September-October you will see it in your offer right now. And once you become unconditional and finalize your deposit payment, at that point we'll apply the additional £2,000 regional scholarship. Now this regional scholarship has a limit. Okay, we have limited availability for that. Okay, because we have a scholarship pot. Okay, and we are offering the students the scholarship. So once the limit is reached, we are not going to be offering any more of that. Now, if you want to secure your place on the regional scholarship, this is very simple and very important that you finalize everything as soon as possible. Okay, to be eligible for that extra £2,000. There is no deadline to it, but there is a limit to it. Okay. Can you hear me? By the way, can you hear me? Hello? By the way, can you hear me? Hello? Can everyone hear me clearly?
Can you hear me now, Bhai?
Check the question. I cannot hear you clearly. So anything, I'm just going to quickly pick up few questions from the comment box because I cannot hear you at all. Just to respond to the students. Now, apologies if I cannot go through all of the questions in advance, but I'll make sure that like, okay, you are getting your responses. The team can respond in that. Now, this is a question from for Mir Mahmood, sorry. The university's policy on part-time work for international students, and are there any restrictions during term time? Okay. Now, the policy is very straightforward. So it is UK-based policy. So universities cannot make these policies because these restrictions are placed by the UKVI, the Home Office, the Visas and Immigrations team, however you say it. Now, the policy is very straightforward. You can work 20 hours per week. Okay,
Can
up
you
to
hear me,
20
Bhai?
hours of. Yeah, now I can buy. Now
Sorry, my
So
microphone was not connected.
No,
Yes,
that's
please.
fine. That's fine. So up to 20 hours you can work. Okay, and during your holidays you are allowed to work more than 20 hours. Okay.
Amazing.
That's as straightforward. Now, next question is Harlaiwala. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Apologies in advance. If a student has a non-law degree and wants to become a solicitor in the UK, how do we know whether to recommend LLM, MLO, SQE preparation course at the University of Law? Okay, so if the student have a non-law background and wants to become a solicitor, okay, it is not mandatory for them to do an LLM. They can go for the SQE preparation course. However, without knowledge about certain things in the legal industry, legal field, it is going to be very, very difficult for anyone to clear the SQE exams. Now, I will be suggesting that, like, okay, for the students who are going to appear in the SQE exams, go for our LLM SQE qualifications. So we have a number of qualifications where the SQE preparations is combined with some additional modules to give you a full postgraduate qualification. So go for those ones. They will cover the explanations or the information about the legal side of things, as well as legal subjects, as well as it will prepare you for those SQE exams. And we are looking into, this is currently going through validations, the academic checks and everything like that. We are looking into introducing the professional practice here for our LLM SQE programs. What that will do is that it will also give you some time to have some qualifying work experience, okay, within the sector. Plus, we are offering an exam pass guarantee for the SQE students, which means that, like, okay, if you are studying our LLM SQE qualifications, if you meet the conditions and if you do not pass your exams, you will be eligible for a refund on your fee, on the fees you paid. So the details are on our website as well. You can look into that. So we pride ourselves at University of Law being the best legal higher education provider in UK, full stop. There is no ifs, there is no buts to it. So it's very straightforward and simple. Okay, that's where our employment promise comes in. That's where our SQE guarantee, pass guarantee scheme comes in. So if you are studying with us, you should be able to achieve the things that we expect you to achieve, or else you get your money back. Simple.
Right. Thank you, Tanzim Bhai. I think most of the questions in the comment box we already answered. I think they got the answer. So Tanzim Bhai, can you just explain how many intakes the university has, and when should the student take preparation for the application?
So the typical start dates at the University of Law can be staggered as January, February, okay, April, May, June, July, and September, October. Now we have all of those course start dates on our website. Okay, so if you go on to, I'll share another link for everyone who is joining. Okay, application and enrollment. So if you just go to our application and enrollment page, okay, you will find every single key dates. Okay, so this is another link I'm sharing for everyone. Okay, so that you can see, you will find the dates, plus also we have very specific deadlines, and our deadlines are very hard deadlines. Hard deadlines, by that we mean that, like, okay, we have a specific deadline for application cutoff date. Okay, then you have your unconditional acceptance and CAS application cutoff, then CAS issuance deadline, and all of that. Now there is three different categories of those deadlines. You have the standard. A lot of countries which do not have access to priority or super priority visa applications, you've got those standard visa applications deadline. Okay, now a few countries, like for example India, Bangladesh, or a few other countries, they have access to priority and super priority visa application. So your agency as admissions group, they can nominate your application if you are, let's say, missing just one or two things, or you are running late, or you are a late applicant. So they can nominate you for a priority visa application, so you get a couple of weeks extended time. And then you have a completely separate timeline for onshore students. So onshore students, because they are applying from inside UK, they get visa application responses fairly quickly, and they can apply at a later date. So you have, for the September October intake, your unconditional payment allocation, means like you need to pay before that, so that your payment can get allocated on that date, is up until 25th of September. So I'll say you still have good 6 weeks before our deadline starts. But as I said before, please do not wait till 25th of September to finalize your payment and unconditional acceptance, because at that point you are just creating problems for yourself, and you are putting yourself at risk of getting a CAS rejection. So if you are to apply and get your unconditional offer and finalize the payments and all of that, at least do it 3-4 weeks before the cutoff date. Okay, that way you can expect everything to run smoothly without any delays.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Tanzim Bhai. So one student asked very important question, I think. What support services are available for students with disability or those requiring additional care?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So we recognize that, like, okay, everyone is not the same. Okay, anyone who can require special arrangements, and we are more than open to do that. Our campuses are designed keeping that bit in mind. Okay, so students can request access. Students who are suffering from dyslexia, learning difficulties, students can have physical difficulties. So if you go to our Moorgate campus, for example, in London, you will see that, like, okay, there are lifts everywhere, there are ramps everywhere. So students, even if they are wheelchair bound, they can access all facilities. Sorry, you cannot see my picture. I'm just realizing that, like,
No,
dark.
we can see.
Yeah, so there are the students who face these difficulties. So our campuses are designed like that. Okay, however, you can always request further information once you receive your offer letter, that, like, you can send a reply to our admissions team, our applications team, that, like, okay, I'm concerned about ABC situation. Can we explain that, like, okay, I'm suffering from these disabilities, or I have this disability, or I have this concern, and our team will come back to you with as much information as possible for you. Now, when it comes to the credibility interview, if you need special arrangement, let's say, for example, if you are unable to record an interview for any reason, you can request for adjustment, and we will accommodate where possible.
Thank you, Tanzim Bhai. Thank you. So before we finish, I also want to explain how Admission Group can support students interested in the University of Law. If you are looking currently in the UK and looking for study and considering your next academic steps, our team can initially look at your profile and help you explore suitable university options. When you contact us, ideally have the following information ready, like your bachelor's qualifications, your current completed UK Masters, your current UK university, your current visa status and expired date, which is very important, the subject you are interested in studying, your future career objectives. So that information helps us our counselors understand your situation before discussing potential options. And if you are considering a second master's at the University of Law, we can support you with the university application process while the relevant university teams assess admissions and CAST requirements. So, Tanzim Bhai, we have reached the end of today's session. So I'd like to give the final questions to you. If an international student is sitting somewhere in the UK watching us right now, completing their current master's and wondering, what should I do next? What would your advice be to them?
I'll say don't wander around. Okay. The first thing, the application doesn't cost you a single penny. Okay. Admissions group does not charge you a single penny. The university does not take any money from you or anything for applications or the whole admissions process or any of that. This is completely free of charge, right? Yes. Start discussing with your consultant about what's next, what is possible, what you should do. Talk to them about your career aspirations and all of that. Make a decision about the courses that you want to apply for. Make a short list. Okay, go through the course informations. Because this is completely free of charge, finalize your application first. Okay, so first things first. Now you have your conditional offer on your hand, right? Now you can go through the details. Now, let's say there are options, MSc Business Analytics, MBA, there is business management courses. Now, you are confused between these three. You applied for MSc Business Analytics, let's say. Now, you've gone through the application and all of the details. You have a conditional offer on your hand. Now you decided, you know what? The MBA makes more sense for me than studying a business analytics course, okay, for my career choices, right? Write it up. When you have done your research, you can go into the applicant portal. You can always change the course, okay? Up until you do your interviews and all of that, you can always change your course from the applicant portal, okay? So submit the application first. If you want to switch your course, you can do it. Is not a problem. Again, it's free of charge. You do not need to submit a new application. So your application is done. Finalize your interview, get your unconditional offer. Even if you are not 100% sure that about the tuition fees or any of that, but going up until unconditional offer does not cost you a single penny. Okay, so do that.
No need to be worried.
Then you don't do that without hesitation. So at least that part of things are done. So even if you are coming close to the deadline, the only thing that is pending is to pay your deposit and apply for your CAS, right? So simple as that. So keep things all organized. You are an adult, okay? You have done a number of things in this country, including studying your previous qualification in this country for between 1 to 4 years. So you understand the education system, you understand the deadlines and the importance of being within those deadlines. So this is very important for you to make sure that everything that doesn't cost you a single penny, to make sure that all of that is done. Okay, and that is just waiting for you to finalize everything. So that is my suggestion. One key point, if you are to take from this particular session, is that start the whole process as early as possible.
Yes. Thank you very much, Tanzim Bhai. I think today's discussion has clarified something very important. Your first UK Masters doesn't necessarily mean the end of your academic journey. Depending on your individual circumstances, previous education, and genuine career objectives, there may be further study opportunities for explored. But the keyword is progression. Tanzim Bhai already clarified. Don't randomly select another master's. Think about, what have I studied? What skills am I missing? Where do I want my career to go? And how will this next qualification help me to get there? If you can answer those questions clearly, you are already approaching your next step in a much better way. So if you are currently an international student inside the UK and would like to explore opportunities at the University of Law, get in touch with Admission Group. Send us a message with your law onshore, along with your current qualifications and the course you're interested in. Our team can then review your initial profile and discuss the appropriate next step with you. And if you know someone currently finishing their master's in the UK, share the live with them. It might help them understand an opportunity that not know existed.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tanzim Bhai, again. And
thank you for arranging this.
You are very much supportive And thank you very much for your time.
No problem, Bhai. Thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Tim, for arranging this. I'm looking forward to receiving your applications. And if you need anything, as I said, all you need to do is just reach out to us, and we'll make sure that everything is done. Okay?
Yes, and thank you to everyone who joined us live. Please allow Admission Group for more university updates, live sessions, and opportunities for international students in the UK. We were discussing about a lot of things about the University of Law, and my name is Mohammad Obaidul Haq. I'm the Associate Director of Admission Group. Until next time, stay safe, keep progressing, and make the right decision for your future. Allah Hafiz. Thank you, everyone.
All the best, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.